All right, so let's take a look over TSN's trade bait board and see where guys are at right now. It's interesting to me that the list has shrunk so much already, and yet there are some interesting names on the list. Matt Duchene still leads the list. The latest rumors, Carolina's in the running. I think everybody's in the running, minus a few teams. If you have cap space, you want Matt Duchene. Um, uh, the asking price is high. I've said that all along, but he's still number one on the list for a reason. He's 26. He's perceived as still being capable of bouncing back and getting back into that 75, 80 point range if he's on the right team. Whether he can or can't remains to be seen, but the perception is there that he can. Duchene only has 36 points in 55 games. You have to wonder if all his talk of being traded is affecting him or not. Number 2 on the list is Vanek. And, today I was watching Overdrive, and they were talking about Vanek and how, with the way he's played this year, with 38 points in 47 games, maybe he should stay in Detroit because he's played really well there. Or maybe Detroit wants to trade him because he's played really well. Detroit's not making the playoffs. I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school here to say it. Detroit's done. And they'd be wise to sell Vanek. Vanek's 33. His best days are behind him. He's having somewhat of a renaissance as a member of the Red Wings. Get something for him while you can because he's a UFA in the offseason. Number 3 on the list is Dmitry Kulikov. And if somebody can tell me how his $4.3 million in salary and the 2 points he scored in 36 games, how that's going to be attractive to anybody, I'd really like to know, because I don't see why he's third on this list. I know there aren't a lot of defensemen available, but there's a reason he's available. He hasn't played particularly well. He's a UFA after this season. So that mitigates the money, and I'm sure you can get Buffalo to hold back on the money and cover whatever. But I just don't see him as an attractive rental option. I just don't. Kulikov's been kind of a disaster in Buffalo this year. Because number 4 on the list is Radim Vrbata. Now, what's interesting with the Vrbata is that he started getting bonuses kick in. He had a $500,000 bonus kick in when he hit 40 points. He gets another $500,000 bonus if the team he's playing for him hits the playoffs. Another $500,000 for each round they play after that. So Vrbata would get very expensive if your team won the Stanley Cup. But it's worth it, right? Now, bonuses get tacked onto next year's cap, I believe. That was the deal a few years ago. I don't know if they changed that in the last CBA or not. But cap bonuses get kicked into next year. Again, it's worth it if you win the Stanley Cup. Vrbata's had a good season. I've cautioned that he is not really worth what I think a team is probably going to have to give up to get him. But I guess we'll see. Jannik Hansen's number 5 on the list. He has one more year left at $2.5 million. I think he goes. I still think it's going to be a late first. I think Pittsburgh is a good fit. I do. I know Pittsburgh doesn't have cap space, so I know the Canucks are going to have to retain salary, but or take back a bad contract, and I don't think Benning would necessarily shy away from that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Hansen. He's 30 years old. He is injury prone. That's going to drive the value down. Where I see, maybe a late first for what he does, you could argue that his injury history means not a late first and perhaps second or third. But if a team wants to part with the prospect like Ottawa did with Jonathan Dahlen, I don't have a problem with that either. So, I'm sure Pittsburgh's got some guys in the wings that they might be willing to get rid of. Some guys down in Wilkes-Barre, or maybe some guys they drafted. Pittsburgh has a fantastic system, so I would be pretty happy with anybody out of Pittsburgh coming to Vancouver. Gabriel Landeskog is still number 6 on this list. He only has 26 points in 50 games. He's overrated. He's dramatically overrated. I have yet to watch a Colorado game this year where I've thought, yeah, he's worthy of that cap hit. His game has really fallen for me, and I don't know that he's going to move. And the rumor's been that the Bruins, I'm watching the Bruins right now as they play Arizona, 1-0 Boston as I watch this. watching this while making this video. I'm scared that Boston might sell the farm to pick up Landeskog, because I think Boston wants to load up for one last run at a cup, because a lot of their core is late 20s, early 30s, and the perception that adding the right guy, and Landeskog ideally would be the right guy in an ideal world. It scares me, though. It scares me as a Bruins fan, personally, so I hope it doesn't happen. Anthony Duclair is number 7 on this list. I don't know that he moves. He's got a good cap hit. He's an RFA, but it's not like he's going to get a raise with the totals he's put up this year. Number 8's Michael Grigorenko. 22 years old. He's an RFA at the end of this year. He's got 19 points, 57 games. I think he's going to the KHL. I do. I think he's going to the KHL after this season. I think he's done. I don't even know if anybody picks him up on as a trade. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on waivers. But although it's Colorado, so it's not like he's taking a roster spot from some fantastic prospect or anything. Their prospects are playing or not ready yet. Number 9's Kyle Quincy in New Jersey. He was kept out of the lineup last night. They didn't address it as being a healthy scratch, so the feeling is that New Jersey's trying to trade Quincy. I don't know what kind of return they're going to get for him. I think it's going to be a mid-round draft pick. Number 10's Valtteri Filppula at $5 million, and he's got one more year left. I don't think he's going anywhere. His point totals have started getting better. His goal totals are still kind of I don't think he's going anywhere. Tampa would have to hold back salary, and I don't know that Yzerman's going to do that. Number 11's Curtis Lazar. Apparently, Ottawa's GM felt he was being lowballed on offers for Lazar. I don't know what he thinks a player with 1 point in 33 games is worth, who's going to be an RFA at the end of the season and is not going to get a raise considering the points he's put up. But he's not getting fleeced. Other teams are just looking at him going, he's only got 1 point in 33 games, and he doesn't really stand out in any single area of the game, so we're not going to give you a lot for him. So if Ottawa's in a position where they think that their asset's worth a lot, and other teams are like, he's not, though, he's not playing well, he's not going anywhere. Marc-Andre Fleury. Pittsburgh has said all along they are happy going into June with these two goaltenders, and I have a funny feeling that'll happen. It could happen based on the fact that I don't think there's a lot of teams looking for goaltending. I mean, I could say Calgary, but Brian Elliott started playing a lot better lately, and I think Calgary's happy to go with Elliott right now and just sort of roll the dice. They're not in a position where they want to mortgage their future, and I don't know that Fleury would be a big upgrade over either of their goaltenders. Johnny Oduya in Dallas is an interesting one. If he's healthy, and if anybody wants him, take him, please. The rumor right now is maybe he'll go to Chicago. Fine, go to Chicago. Don't care. I'm not a Johnny Oduya fan. I never have been. Remember when Dallas got him, I was like, oh, super. Wunderbar. Riley Sheehan, number 14, is an interesting story in that apparently Toronto's in on Sheehan. I don't know that Sheehan would be an upgrade for Toronto in any area. He's 25, 58 games, 9 points. None of them are goals. He's got 1 year left at 2.075, which I think is a little bit high for the fact he has no goals. And I just don't understand. Maybe there's something Babcock sees in this kid that I don't, but I don't see. Maybe he goes to the Leafs. Evander Kane's still on this list. I don't know why. I don't see Evander Kane moving tomorrow. Drew Stafford. I don't know that there's a market for Stafford. It's funny. All these names are all the popular ones, right? They're all the popular names, and I honestly think the names we're going to see out there tomorrow are going to be ones that aren't on this list. Shane Doan. Doan's got up to 20 points. He was very vocal about his dislike for the trade that sent Hansel and White from Arizona to the Wild. He was very upset about Hansel, a guy he's played with for a decade, being moved out, and I understand that. And he made an honest statement where he said, a guy who's 38 isn't going to get on board and go, yeah, let's rebuild. And he's right. But here's my problem with Shane Doan making that statement. Arizona's been bad for a while. If he was really key on, gee, I'm getting older and I really want to win a cup, the time for him to speak up was probably 3 years ago. Like, it's not like Arizona's looked like they're turning things around during any of the seasons he's been playing. So I'm kind of surprised that he's surprised. He should be completely on board with this. 18, they got Vladimir Sobotka on the list. I don't know why. He's not coming over. He's in the KHL right now. Eric Fair in Pittsburgh's on this list. Well, he's on waivers. If you want him, you can have him. $2 million, 11 points, 51 games. He's not a sexy pick. He's a right winger. He might help somebody. Number 20 on the list is Halak. He's not a sexy pick. Franzen's at 21. Cody Franzen is not a sexy pick either. Matthew Perreault from Winnipeg. I have a funny feeling somebody would pick up Perreault if he was a rental. I think the fact there's 4 years left at $3 million per means he's not going anywhere. Brandon Peary in New York, 17 points, 51 games. I think he'll go somewhere. I don't know where. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Boston. I wouldn't mind seeing Boston make a move. The thing is, because they're both rivals in the playoffs, and the Rangers could potentially be that wild card team that move over to the Atlantic Division to play. I don't think they're going to want to give Peary to a team they could potentially face in the playoffs without asking a little bit more in return. Mark Streit in Philly, $5.25 million, and he's 39. He'll probably go as a rental. Philly's gonna have to hold some salary. Craig Smith in Nashville, $4.3 million. He's only got 17 points and 9 goals. Brandon Davidson's on the chart now at 26 from Edmonton. 1 point in 28 games, $1.4 million. He's got 1 year left. Edmonton would look to move him because they don't want to lose him in the expansion draft. I don't know who's going to pick him up because I don't know who's looking at their blue line right now and saying, well, we can afford to lose a defenseman. We can pick up Brandon Davidson and then not be able to protect one of our other defensemen. I don't know which team has that kind of depth chart right now. Jerome McGinley, he's been out there for a while as a rental, and I don't know who's going to take him. His game has fallen way off. Yuri Hudler, he'll probably hit the waiver wire tomorrow. Gaborik looked mostly like a disaster in the Minnesota game I watched. I believe it was last night, them in the Wild. I don't know who I was more stunned by, Gaborik or Kopitar, with how badly they were playing. But there's problems in LA, and I don't think anybody's touching Gaborik. Patrick Sharp, he's not going back to Chicago. I can't see it. It was pointed out in the comments why. It's one of those things where if I know there's some kind of gossip reason, like there's gossip reasons I don't like Ryan Kessler. So people talk about Kessler and they're like, oh, what's this problem with Kessler? I'm not going to say in a video things I've heard, things I've read, things I've got. Like, I don't discuss gossip on here. So with players I don't like, sometimes there's gossip reasons that dislike gets stronger and stronger. And in the case of Patrick Sharp, there's gossip reasons he wouldn't go back to Chicago. And I'm not going to state them here. You'd have to go look them up yourself. Michael Del Zotto in Philly. I've always liked Del Zotto. He's UFA at the end of the season. I would be happy to see one of my teams sign him, and hopefully, as a reclamation project. He's 26. There's still a chance. I like Del Zotto. It's one of those weaknesses I have in terms of players. P.A. Parenteau's out there. There'll be mild interest in him. He's a cheap cap hit, considering it's the end of the season. And he's a good depth player. My Bruins are playing right now. I could see the Bruins looking at a Parenteau. A Peary, Parenteau, those kinds of things. Those kinds of guys are the guys I think the Bruins are going to be looking at. And other teams in their position. Scottie Upshall in St. Louis. He's just sort of there. Weirkoch in Colorado. I think he'll go. He's an RFA. 51 games, 12 points, 26 years old, $800K. Very good salary. So I could see him going. I could see him going to Vancouver. Everybody's got the mumps. I could see him going to Vancouver. Jay McClement in Carolina. I don't see him going anywhere. Ryan Murphy in Carolina. 13 games, 2 points, 1 year left at $1.2 million. But because he's 23, somebody will take a shot at him. If Carolina's willing to move Murphy, I think somebody will pick him up. He's young enough that he can get his game together. Jonas Enros on this list. It just shows just how weak the market is right now. In terms of players we know are out there. There's other players we don't know are going to be moved tomorrow. I can't see Enroth moving. Steve Ott. If somebody wants him, take him. If it's one of my teams, I'll just shoot myself. Oh, God, don't let Boston pick up Steve Ott. Oh, God, that's the kind of... You know, when they picked up Zach Ronaldo last year, I was like, why are you picking up the garbage guy? I couldn't stand Ronaldo, and if they pick up Ott now, I'm just going to be upset. And then they got Montreal's David Desharnais on here. I can't see anybody touching Desharnais, and I can't see Montreal trading him. And rounding out 40th on the list is Michael Neuwirth, who has a $1.6 million cap hit and an .890 save percentage. And in games of the Flyers that I've watched over the last couple of weeks, Neuwirth has looked pretty bad. I was a big Neuwirth supporter at one time, and he has just looked pretty bad this year. So there's your top 40. There's the 40 guys. Let me know in the comments below who you think's going to move, who you think isn't, and who isn't on this chart that should be. Plenty of guys I can think of that I go, you know what? This guy could move. And isn't being talked about. One in Vancouver that I think could move is Spiza. Lucas Spiza's played very well for his contract this year. He's still signed through next year, so he's an expansion darling. If you don't want to lose him, if you need to expose somebody, Spiza's a possibility, and he can help you down the stretch and in the playoffs. He's actually been playing pretty well this year. Now, it could be that he's playing well in relation to other players playing like crap. It might just be a matter of degrees. But I think he's played very well this year, and I think he could be a good pickup, and he's not on the list. And that's just off the top of my head. Let me think of Dallas. Well, it's not going to be Foxa. That's not going to happen. It's not going to be Honka. Or as I call him, Honka Burnin' Love. I'm really waiting for him to score a goal so I can yell that at the screen. But there's players in Dallas. I'm drawing a blank on it right now that I think would be decent options for a team. Spezza, I think, if Dallas holds money, I think Spezza could be moved. I do. All right. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, because it's a fun time. We're on an upswing right now, and it's fun looking over the draft the draft. I'm ahead of myself. I'm at the draft already, and it's not even trade deadline. It's trade deadline tomorrow. I will be live streaming tomorrow. I am aiming to be here. I leave work at 9:30. I have to do the bus system to get home. It's a 20-mile or, well, 15 miles, 30 clicks to get here from my work. And I'm aiming for about 11 o'clock West Pacific time, or 2 Eastern time, so 2 in the afternoon Eastern time, so about an hour before the deadline. I know I'm going to miss trades, but, you know, we'll be able to discuss them. And usually trades will come through after the trade deadline's technically passed. That call will be made, and the NHL will allow the trades to go through, and we don't find out until about an hour after the trade deadline's passed. Cody Hodgson being the one I remember the most. They were always like, all right, well, the Canucks didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden I hear, Cody Hodgson's been traded for Zach Kassian. And I'm like, wait, what? I didn't even know they were trading Hodgson. So that's the kind of move I'm looking for tomorrow. The big surprise. Let me know in the comments below who you think is going to be the big surprise. Because if you're right tomorrow, then you win Hearty Handshake? I guess? No, we'll figure something out. Thanks for watching. And, yeah. I will be back soon to discuss other hockey-related items that aren't really trade deadline related. But I will be back to discuss them as soon as possible. And for this video, I made sure I wore a jersey that I liked and a hat that I liked, keeping the Dallas theme going. I reserve the right to wear Minnesota North Stars later as well, because Minnesota North Stars, Dallas Stars, it's the same organization. So, again, thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is fun watching the channel grow, and here's to watching it grow even further tomorrow.